If you saw me on the street, what would you think of me if you didn't know me? Well, I already know the answer, and here it is. You'd say, now that is a manly vegan. And you'd be right to think that. Hi, my name's Nick Shell, and I'm the Manly Vegan. Now today, on my YouTube channel, I got a new comment right here. So we're going to take a look at it. And I love comments. Either if I don't comment right back to you within a couple days, my goal is to make a video if it covers some new material that I haven't yet featured in a video. So let's check out what, and actually, Brian Griffin left this comment. It looks like it was on my video, Manly Vegan Review of Bare Naked Granola. I did, I think, last weekend or something. All right, Brian Griffin says this, quote, "Hey Nick, happy Christmas to you and yours. Awesome video as always. Could you in the future do a video on being a vegan on a budget, as I really want to give veganism a go for health, moral, and spiritual reasons, but have limited money. Thanks in advance and God bless." End quote. So thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. And I think this is an interesting question that every once in a while I get asked about. So it's time for me to do a video about this. Veganism on a budget, especially if you're new to it or experimenting with it. I haven't thought this through, but let's be honest, I typically don't. I hardly ever think out my videos. I just go on it. Like going back to old school when we'd actually talk on a phone that looked like this and have conversations with people. That's real life. That's unedited, and that's what I like. It gives it substance, and that's something my channel has. So, veganism on a budget. Well, I think the easiest way to do this is just to think about Mexican and Italian food. As Americans, that's some of the easiest food for us to eat and like. Everybody likes Italian food. Everybody likes Mexican food. It's become part of our American culture in food, really. You know, so go with that concept. It's actually very easy to go Mexican or Italian, which I'm a quarter of each, by the way. That has nothing to do with why I'm promoting this, but it just happens to be the case. But it's very easy and cheap to have Mexican and Italian food on a regular basis and make it work. So think about this. There's 6 food groups of being a vegan. Vegetables, fruits, greens. Vegetables, fruits, grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. Okay? So in the grains part, that's your pasta. That's your rice, and that's oats. But mainly, particularly thinking about grains, because if it's Italian, well, pasta, like I already said, and pasta's cheap. And of course, I would recommend whole wheat. That's going to give you more nutrients than just the white stuff, you know. And then when it comes to the wheat, same thing goes for like tortillas, you know, wheat tortillas. So you can do a lot with that. Of course, sauce for either you can get pretty cheap, whether it's enchilada sauce or marinara sauce, whatever. You can get it pretty cheap. And then, of course, with the Mexican food, you have beans in there. You want to have some avocado in there. Instead of cheese, that's what you do. You do avocado, which is going to be a little bit more on the expensive side of things, but you got to get your good proteins and your fats in. On the Italian side, I don't put avocados with that, but what I do is my wife actually makes this cashew sauce. She just gets unsweetened almond milk, puts it in a food processor with cashews and almond milk, lemon, and garlic. You can Google that or whatever. You'll find the recipe. That's how she found it. It's easy to find. But she gets that and puts it in with our marinara sauce. It makes it creamier, and it's healthy fats from the cashews. It's really good. So and then of course there's other just simpler versions. Like this weekend one night, we just had like rice and beans, just rice and beans, and had some sauce on there. And of course, with all of this, always do a salad. Not with iceberg lettuce, of course, but with romaine, the dark green stuff. Add some sunflower seeds in there. There's some more protein and fat. So most of our meals revolve around those concepts. Of course, my wife will make vegetable soup as well. But, I mean, this is fairly cheap. Because remember, we haven't always been this way. We converted years ago. And what we found is, ultimately, it's not saving us money to be vegans, nor is it costing us more. The main difference is it forces you to not be able to eat out at fast food anymore. So when you consider that you're no longer spending money on fast food for your budget, now you're eating your meals at home. That's where it balances out. So it may seem more expensive at first, but just consider you pretty much lose your right to eat fast food when you're a vegan. So it makes up the difference there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to go over. Yeah, I guess there's one more thing. If you search my channel, just type in vegan smoothie. I've done several videos on my smoothie I do every morning. It's almond milk, a banana, blueberries, peanut butter, unsweetened cocoa powder, chia seeds. I do that every single morning. It starts off my morning with good fats and proteins and fruits. And then also, so that's what I do for my breakfast. For my lunch every day, I do oatmeal. It's oatmeal, a banana, unsweetened chocolate, trail mix. That's what I do for lunch. I just had. And then at dinner, that's when I have my one real meal of the day. Of course, the only thing special about the real meal is that it's got salad and it's got more like beans and grains in it, more so than what I had for lunch, because I just have, the only grain I have during the day is really just oats. So that's what I eat. Ultimately, to say on a budget, I mean, I guess so. Again, ruling out the fact you can't eat fast food anymore, that's going to help your budget right there. And I know it's easy to think, well, man, cashews, avocados, that's kind of expensive. That's not cheap. But consider, you're not eating meat anymore. You're not eating cheese anymore. And actually, almond milk, which is a staple in what I do as well, pretty cheap now. I mean, you can get the stuff at Walmart. There's several options for it. So thank you for asking that question there, Brian. I'm happy to help answer any curious people's questions about being a vegan. Of course, you know where my heart is. My heart is not to convert people to veganism. If you want to know more about it, I'm here to help. But if not, if you're watching this video just out of curiosity, thinking Manly vegan, what? Then that's cool, and you're accepted here, and I'm glad that you're here. And it's okay just to kind of peer in, but with no pressure to convert, because I get nothing out of you converting to veganism. It's not about me. It's just about helping other people. Remember, for years, for decades, I had sinus pressure. I had constant sinus infections. I was allergic to all animals, and I had dyshidrosis on my hands. It got to the point I could barely use my hands. Those things are gone now. And if I ever went back, so would my health problems. They'd be back too. So you could say it's selfish reasons that I'm a vegan. It's the main reason isn't for animal rights at all. That's a nice side effect, and I'm happy about that. But if I could, the truth is, if I could go back to eating whatever I wanted to and still be healthy, then I probably would, because again, it's for selfish reasons. But I know for a fact that this is what's keeping my body in check and where it needs to be, and it's keeping me healthy. So that's the reason I do it. So that's the message that I want to share with people. If they're interested, like Brian is, I'm happy and honored and proud to answer your questions. My name is Nick Shell, and I am the Manly Vegan.